Hey everyone. So in this lesson today, what we did was we investigated how people make decisions. And in order to kind of determine that, we created a simplified model. So we looked at how like one person chooses between two different things and the diminishing marginal utility, how that has an effect, and how different prices or different costs have an effect, and how ultimately it causes us to kind of pick and choose. And what we do is we lean towards the thing that has the highest marginal utility per price. Going back to the like go-karts movie example that I had you do, it's not like somebody sits there and goes like, how many marginal utilities per dollar am I going to get for a movie versus the go-karts? We experience this more as like feelings. So the theory is that maybe you're hanging out with your friends, you're talking about what you should do. Somebody's like, maybe we should go to the movie. Somebody else is like, maybe we should go to the go-karts. And what happens is you start thinking about, right, subconsciously, you start thinking about like, how much am I going to enjoy the movie? How much would I enjoy the go-karts? How much does it cost for me to do those two different things? And you kind of figure out this ratio of like fun to how much you have to pay to get the fun. And the more fun to the lower you have to pay, the more excited you are for that thing. And so in that example with the movies and go-karts, when you're together with your friends and they're like, what should we do? You're kind of got this feeling like, I want to go to the movies. I feel like that would be the best use of our time, money, whatever, right? After you see the movie, and then somebody's like, we should see another movie. And somebody else is like, no, we should go to the go-karts. You would be feeling like, I don't really care. Either one is fine, right? Now, if you see a second movie, now go-karts have moved up ahead. You're going to want to go to the go-karts next. Or if you go to the go-karts, then you're going to say, let's go back to the movies or whatever, right? But the theory is that when we go to make choices, we're balancing this marginal utility versus the price. And whatever gives us the highest ratio of marginal utility to price is what we're going to end up doing. But then because of diminishing marginal utility, we end up switching to something else eventually, which is why we don't do the same thing all the time, because that diminishing marginal utility kicks in. And so we go do something else. Now, in the real world, you probably have more than two choices. And it might not be super clear what the utility or the cost is going to be. But what we can do from this model is we can come up with an idea of how humans make their choices, right? So that like this afternoon, when I get my schoolwork done, I'm going to have some choices, right? I can play video games. I could go to the beach. I could, take a nap. There's a few different things that I could do. And the theory is that I'm going to pick the one that's going to give me the most marginal utility per price. It's going to give me the most fun for my dollar, or however you want to see it, right? But once I start doing that, pretty soon diminishing marginal utility is going to kick in. It's not going to be so much fun anymore. And then I'm going to switch to something else. And then maybe I'll switch back or switch to a third thing or whatever. So that's the theory of how individuals make choices. That we look at the benefits, we look at the costs, we weigh them against each other, and we pick the option that gives us the highest ratio of benefit to cost. And then once diminishing marginal utility kicks in, we switch to something else. All right? So that takes us to the end of Unit 1. We're now going to start tomorrow with Unit 2, and then next week I'll give you kind of an assessment that covers Unit 1 and Unit 2 together. So that's where we're headed. All right, take care, guys.